Hello everyone, welcome to the first Long for Truth videocast. This is something new that we're just kind of doing on the blog to keep the blog fresh. So give us some feedback, tell us what you think. If you like it, say yay. If nay, then tell us how we can improve. So for this very quick videocast, I just want to give my reflections and thoughts on the sermons from 1 Corinthians 6, 12 through 20. As you can see there, it's popped up on your screen, and this is the message that Brother Tim Panic brought us today at Albemarle Reformed Church. We're focusing mainly on verses 18 through 20, and Paul's imperative command to the Corinthians to flee from sexual immorality. Starting in verse 15, he gives the reasons why the Corinthians, as well as all believers, should flee from sexual immorality. It's very logical, and we'll see that as we go through it. So I just kind of want to take the time to do that. The first reason Paul gives is that being saved and being a part of the body of Christ, our bodies are members of Christ himself. And the fact that we are members, our bodies are members of the Christ, is because Paul states at the end of verse 19 and the beginning of verse 20 that we are not our own, and that we were bought with a price. Now, being not our own and being bought with a price, as members and bodies of the members of Christ, we can't take that body and join it to another person in a sexually immoral way. Now, Paul demonstrates this by asking the rhetorical question, should I take the members of Christ and make them members of a prostitute? Well, obviously, the expected answer is no, never. Because Paul gives them the logical reason that when you join your body in a flesh union with a prostitute or in any sexual immoral way, you become one flesh with that person. Now, Paul is obviously quoting Genesis chapter 2 there, and God's first marriage ceremony in the Garden of Eden between Adam and Eve. Paul tells them physically the two become one flesh, but in the same way, those who are joined to Christ become one spirit with him. And then after this comes that imperative command of fleeing. Paul's just kind of laid out the foundation there so that the believers can see why it is absolutely ridiculous for them to live thinking that sexual immorality is okay. Which, by the way, that was kind of the norm for them. Cultic prostitution and just sexual immorality in general. Kind of like we deal with today. Things were just the norm for the Corinthians in the same way that immorality is the norm for us. But then Paul finishes out in verse 20 at the very end of the command of what they are supposed to do. Another imperative command in this text here. It is to glorify God in their bodies. So, why should we glorify God in our bodies? Well, Paul lays it out here, and I'm just going to wrap it up with a threefold application of why it is so important for believers to flee, particularly from sexual immorality. The first reason is that, number one, because sexual immorality begins with the eyes. Now, we know that when we begin to see things that we desire, that it begins to take effect in us. And then comes the second step. The second step is that it becomes lodged in our hearts. And after it becomes lodged in our hearts, it manifests itself in the final way. It manifests itself through our actions. So, brothers and sisters, I just want to encourage you and exhort you to flee from sexual immorality. Don't begin to look. Don't let it become lodged in your heart. And then, certainly, don't let it manifest itself through your actions. Hope this has been an encouragement to you. Just drop us a line on the blog and tell us what you think. Thanks for watching.